First off, sorry for the clickbait, and I'll get into the topic of clickbait in this video, but I wanted to do something a little bit different today, and this isn't going to become like a regular thing on this channel. It's a cooking channel. I intend on keeping it that way, but I also wanted to express a few thoughts on some things. I want to go into some of the pros and cons of being a YouTuber and trying to make YouTube videos. There are good parts, and there are, quite frankly, parts that I don't like at all about this. And I also want to cover some of the challenges that I've encountered myself and how I'm going to be approaching those and handling those in the future. And I also want to offer some practical advice if you're thinking about starting a channel or if you just, recently started a channel yourself. So I think this video might be useful and interesting to some people, or if you're even a viewer and you're kind of curious about what all this stuff is like. So first off, some of the good parts about YouTube: you can be creative and you can express yourself and you're creating something that's yours. So there's more purpose and meaning to it. And literally anybody can do it. We all have smartphones, they've got cameras on them, so you can record yourself playing a video game or cooking food like I do, or just expressing your thoughts on literally anything. And I think that stuff's pretty cool. And of course, yeah, this takes a lot of courage to do this stuff. There aren't many things more nerve-wracking than when you do your first video, you complete it and you hit upload and you've got something out there. And I think I've done almost 40 regular videos and maybe 8 or 9 short form videos. And I'm still a train wreck on camera. I'm trying to get myself to the point that I'm more natural on camera. People always say, be yourself and be natural. Like, it's hard to just snap your finger and just kind of become that. So I'm working on that. But the cool thing with this is that, the more videos you make, I can look back at my old videos and cringe and say, wow, that's horrible. And look at my current videos and see that it's like, wow, I've learned a lot. They're presented a lot better. They flow a lot better. So many aspects of it you improve on. So the learning process is, really fascinating to do this whole thing. So with that, of course, there are also some bad parts about YouTube. And most of this revolves around playing the stupid game of the algorithm. And I feel that the algorithm rewards and encourages not being genuine and lack of authenticity and being, quite frankly, what I feel some YouTubers, they're flat out shady. So you don't see this much in the cooking field, but there are a lot of genres where you do see this stuff, and of course clickbait falls into the category of it. And I guess that would be a scenario where you see a title of a video and you see the thumbnail picture of it and it leaves you with a question, and then you click the video and they basically just dance around and tease around the answer and just drag ass and don't give the answer, and you end up hating them and you click through the video a bunch of times to try and find the answer. I think that's disrespectful to the viewers. And I think the viewers deserve better than that. The way I see it is, if you click on a video of mine, I can't possibly show you enough love and appreciation for that. You're sort of indirectly complimenting me by saying that, the picture of this food, this looks good, I want to see this. And you're taking the time out of your day to view it. And when you click on that video, I want to make this as descriptive and as informative as I possibly can and make sure that you learn something and you gain something from the video. And a handful of people have. I've got 50-something thousand views on my videos, and yes, a lot of them are me. But those are people that, basically complimented me, and a small handful of people even subscribed to it, said, hey, I want to see more of this stuff. And to every one of you who has watched a video of mine or subscribed to the channel, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It means the world to me, and it's motivating, it's encouraging. I want to make the best possible videos that I can for you. And there are people who just see the viewers as, just watch time metric rather than human beings taking the time out of their day. So this goes into clickbait, or when you see a video, you see a picture of something and it's not in the video. And these things generate clicks, of course. So when they generate clicks, YouTube promotes these things further. So the way I approach things as a viewer, and I'd challenge you to do the same thing, that if you encounter a video that does this stuff, and there's a shitload of these videos on YouTube, I make it a point that, like, if you do this kind of garbage, I will never click on another one of your videos ever again. If all you have to offer the world is stealing people's time and not providing answers to questions that your viewers have, you know, like I said, I think you're a shady human being. But the cool thing about this bad part about YouTube is the viewers can change this. You know, like I say, don't click the videos. Don't leave a thumbs down. Don't leave a comment. Those things help metrics out. So just put a note in your head to just not click on these videos, and the system will eventually begin rewarding being genuine and authentic. So that's a large task, but you know, maybe we can get there. So something else that I don't really like about YouTube is SEO. And if you're not familiar with that, it's search engine optimization. And this is another one of those things that kind of takes the fun and purity out of the whole thing. And to explain what it is, I guess I'll provide an example. It would be like when you're searching through and you see something that says, here's a recipe for best chicken salad ever in 20 minutes or less for easy dinner tonight. And the best part, it uses 2 ingredients or less and is a great make-ahead recipe. This kind of garbage has basically ruined Google, and it's ruined a lot of YouTube as well. Because when you search for something, the results you get back aren't based on quality. It's based on whoever barfed up these stupid keywords the way that the algorithm wants them barfed up. And I'm sure you've typed a question into Google and you find that you don't get the answer that you're looking for. First off, you get berated with ads, and the stuff that isn't ads, a lot of that's useless as well, because remember, things aren't filtered on quality. Rather, it's put up there based on who won the war of this stupid optimization garbage. And of course, a lot of websites and creators see this as, why should I make good content when I can just do this trash? And unlike the other issue I pointed out, I don't know the answer to this one. So yeah, this one just sucks. Okay, with that stuff out of the way, I'd like to go into a few issues that I've been encountering myself and kind of how I want to approach and handle these things going forward. So first off, I'll say that if you're anything like me and you take on a project like this, something that's your work, whatever it may be, a business or YouTube channel, whatever, you don't half-ass it. You absolutely give it everything you've got. You pour your heart and soul into it. And I do that on this channel. I want to make the absolute best videos that I can, leave no stone unturned, and just make them as detailed and descriptive as I possibly can. And, and do the best I can with this. And, with this stuff does come, there are issues of load management, allocation of time, and managing the psychological impact of this stuff. So when I say this stuff, I don't just mean don't burn myself out, although yeah, that's part of it too. It's about time management and playing the long-term game and seeing this as a marathon and not a sprint. So I do feel the need to feed the algorithm and get a video out every week. But at the same time, maybe there's an editing technique that I want to learn. Maybe there's something that I want to learn. For example, I just got this microphone. It's a new microphone. I've been using this one for a while. I want to try and learn how to use this thing and see how that goes. Maybe something with lighting. I'm starting to learn manual settings on the camera. And learning these things, there's a large learning curve to all of this stuff. And it's difficult to do this while also, being like, wow, I got to get this video out this week. So I think it's beneficial to, maybe take 2 weeks to put a video together from time to time. And step away from it and learn a few other things, because I think long term, the production quality of the video is going to go up if I do it that way, rather than just, you know, constantly feeling the need to just cram the algorithm. So that's something I'm going to be doing. And of course, with this, the psychological impact of this stuff is also very important to keep an eye on. So something that happened recently on my channel, you know, a couple of months ago, I got a little micro surge on the algorithm, and I think I went from, you know, maybe 500 subscribers to about 850 within like 2 weeks. So of course it was like, this is great, you know, yeah, awesome, you know, it's about time I got, you know, something on here. And I knew that wasn't gonna last. What I expected was for it to, like, okay, just go back to where it was before, where I was kind of making a slow climb. But that's not what happened. It took a complete nosedive and complete crash and burn. So of course I obsess over it and try and figure out, like, okay, you know, what went wrong here? What's going on with this? Is it, you know, what did I do wrong? Was there something with the metrics? I look at the average view duration of a video, look at the view to like ratio, view to comment ratio, view to subscriber ratio, all these kind of things. And when I looked at this stuff, it checked out. So I really haven't been able to figure it out. And like looking at this stuff and obsessing over this stuff, like it's gotten to the point that it's had a negative effect on my mental health. So I think right now I'm at the point that I need to take a couple weeks off from the channel and just not think about it, and just walk away from it a little bit. And if you find yourself in this same predicament, you know, screw the algorithm. Like, you know, take time for yourself, take care of your mental health. Like, these things can kind of get under your skin a little bit, you know, but you got to watch out for yourself. And ultimately, like, you know, there are some questions in life, some things you're going to run into that you're just not going to have the answer to them. And that's okay. You know, walk away from it and, you know, manage yourself, you know, fuck the algorithm, you know, yeah. So on to some practical advice for new YouTubers. If you're thinking about starting a channel or you just started a channel. Okay, to get this out of the way, first off, you're going to want to know about equipment. Don't spend a bunch of money on, you know, expensive cameras and all this shit. You know, phones have really good cameras on them. They shoot in 1080p. Very few people are watching in 4K anyway, and 1080 looks really good. And if you want some more cameras, find a used electronics store near you and just buy a bunch of old phones. And there you can have as many camera angles as you want. This microphone that I bought, it's like 15 bucks. The lights, you can't see those, but they're like, you know, cheap $50 lights. And the equipment, like, if you don't know how to use the stuff, it doesn't matter how expensive it is. So, you know, learn how to use things first. A lot of people won't like that answer to it, but, you know, as you get doing it, you'll see that it makes sense. And another bit of practical advice I have is that as you get going with your channel, you're going to be looking up things on editing, you know, on, you know, just kind of how to navigate the workings of having a YouTube channel. And with this, the algorithm is going to feed you shit from these gurus. The grow your channel channels, I call them. And that's like the vidIQs, and I mean, there's probably hundreds of them. And don't waste your time on these channels. And these are the channels that are like, you know, small channels, change these 4 settings now. These 5 settings are killing small channels. Do this now to get 100,000 views. And they're not gonna like hearing this if this video somehow winds up in front of one of them. But they don't know how to grow channels. Or more specifically, they don't know how to grow your channel. What they know how to do is create attractive thumbnails and little titles within their genre. They know how to repackage and recycle the same 5 or 6 videos over and over and over and over again, and have, you know, these little attractive, you know, flashy charts and graphs and little sound effects and little, you know, cool little transition things and all this kind of stuff. But it's all smoke and mirrors. Very rarely do you watch one of their videos and say, man, I learned something today. More often, like, you're watching it and saying, wow, that was a complete waste of my time. I learned nothing. And what information was provided was basically common sense. So I would say when concerning yourself with the development of your channel, learn about editing, learn about audio work, you know, try different lighting things, you know, learn about manual camera settings. You know, things like that are going to be much more practical and useful for, you know, the long-term interest of your channel than just the whatever garbage they're putting out. Those people, quite frankly, honestly, fall into the category of the steal your time assholes that I mentioned earlier. And another bit of advice that I can offer up here is to, you know what you're getting yourself into, understand the process, realize this thing is not a sprint by any means. It is absolutely a marathon. Growth on YouTube is very, very slow. I've been at this about 10 months now, and I've got just over 900 subscribers. And also a thing about that is, you know, there are channels with more, there are channels with less. Don't go down that rabbit hole of like, you know, wow, I saw another channel get a bump here in, you know, views and subscriptions and all this. You know, who cares? You know, worry about yourself. There's probably a channel that, you know, below you in numbers that looking at you thinking the same thing. So going down those rabbit holes like that, you know, is not the healthiest thing. You know, just worry about your own work and just do the best you can. And another thing about YouTube here is the absolute saturation of content. And this is also something that you're up against when making a YouTube channel. It's kind of like the iceberg theory in that what you see on the surface is not a representation of what exists on YouTube. What you see when you're scrolling through YouTube is, of course, a whole bunch of channels that, you know, are on the surface that have a whole bunch of viewers and a whole bunch of subscribers and all this. But what's beneath the surface there are millions and millions of channels that are just trying to, you know, figure out whatever way they can to try and get on the surface, myself being one of them. And I also want to point out to the viewers out there that there's a lot of really good quality channels within that group. So give them a chance. And their production value, you know, there may be some hiccups in how they're doing some things, there may be some imperfections, but what you have to realize is that these big channels, they have entire teams of people that do this stuff. And as a small channel, you're not monetized yet, so, you know, you're like me, I've got a full-time job outside of this that I have to do, that I'm kind of slowly learning how to do this whole thing. And yeah, give those channels a chance, and you know, if they're good, let's, you know, bump them up in the algorithm. So with that pretty well sums it up. I hope you found this video informative, and I hope you learned something from it and you gained something from it. Like I said, I'm going to be taking a couple of weeks off from this to kind of get my head straight. Then I'm going to jump back into it because I've got some pretty cool recipe ideas coming up on the channel. So I guess I'll end this the way I always do. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.